This is a brand new deck made possible because of a single brand new card from Crown Zenith, which releases in North America on January 20th. That brand new card is going to be Radiant Eternatus, which this entire deck relies on to function properly. Thank you to JustinBasil.com for this proxy of Radiant Eternatus so we can see what it does. Climax Gate on Radiant Eternatus is an ability that reads when you play this card from your hand onto your bench during your turn. You may search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon VMAX and put them onto your bench, and then your turn ends. Ending your turn is a small price to pay for being the player that goes first, and then playing down Radiant Eternatus, and slapping down 2 Duraludon VMAXs or a Duraludon and a Flying Pikachu on the very first turn of the game. From there, you're going to turbo 7 cards into the Lost Zone using Comfey's Flower Selecting and also Colress's Experiment. Both of these cards put cards into the Lost Zone, and then that will allow you to use Mirage Gate, which says you can only use this card if you have 7 or more in the Lost Zone, and then you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy of different types and attach them to your Pokemon however you like. This is going to allow you to accelerate energy to either of your VMAXs that you established last turn with the Eternatus and start attacking with them immediately. Duraludon VMAX is such a powerful card with 330 HP and its dragon type. New dragon types in the trading card game have no printed weakness. So this is a 330 HP monster with no printed weakness. The ability Skyscraper says that all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have special energy attached is prevented. And Gmax Pulverization does 220 damage, and it goes through any effects on the defending Pokemon. Really, the only weakness of Duraludon VMAX is that it has to evolve from a weaker V Pokemon, and that it can be hard to set up. But Radiant Eternatus and Mirage Gate mitigate the only issues of Duraludon VMAX because we don't play any of the V in this deck for either Duraludon or Flying Pikachu, because Radiant Eternatus is essentially going to cheat these VMAXs into play, and we have a very easy means of energy acceleration thanks to the Lost Zone mechanics and Mirage Gate. Flying Pikachu VMAX has 310 HP, it's lightning type, and it's also weak to lightning, which is not the best weakness since Lugia V-Star and Palkia V-Star also share this weakness with Flying Pikachu VMAX, but the max balloon attack does 160, so against anything lightning weak, you'll be one-shotting them as long as they don't have anything else circumventing damage or protecting them from anything. So 160, 320 if you're hitting into a lightning weak Pokemon, and then during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. So any deck that completely relies on basic attackers, such as the Regigigas archetype and Lost Zone box decks, will not be able to hit Flying Pikachu VMAX with their damage, and you'll be preventing effects of attacks with Big Parasol. This will be really important actually for the deck because while Duraludon VMAX prevents damage done by special energy and Flying Pikachu prevents damage done by basic Pokemon, they don't stop effects of attacks. And Yveltal Amazing Rare is a pretty popular card in this format since it's so easily included into Lugia V-Star decks. And then the Lost Zone decks have their own fair share of effects, like Sableye Lost Mine, which places damage counters and not actual damage. So Big Parasol will be protecting your VMAX Pokemon from both of those popular basic Pokemon attackers that will be able to get through the Skyscraper on Duraludon and also get through the Max Balloon. So definitely be aware of what deck you're playing against and if they have a way around your damage mitigations in Skyscraper and Max Balloon, and you're going to be needing the Big Parasol if they have those effects. Don't overlook Oranguru in this deck with Primate Wisdom. It may seem like a very simple and forgettable card. Once during your turn, you may switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. But this can actually change the game. This can be the difference of winning or losing. Allow me to explain. So if you want to use this Climax Gate ability to put 2 Pokemon VMAX from your deck onto your bench. And maybe you want one of those Pokemon VMAX to be Flying Pikachu VMAX, and you drew into your only Flying Pikachu VMAX. This Guru will allow you to put it back into the deck, so you can now cheat it into play with Radiant Eternatus. Likewise, if we've prized a Duraludon and we drew into one Duraludon, leaving only one in the deck, and we want to get 2 of them with Climax Gate, we're going to use Guru to put the second one back into the deck so that we can then, quote, cheat it out into play with the Climax Gate. Guru is also really great in decks playing Mirage Gate because, you know, you can get a pretty large hand with these Lost Zone decks. You use a flower selecting, take one, put one into the Lost Zone. You switch, use another flower selecting. You scoop up net, use another flower selecting. Then you use Colress's Experiment, you get 3 more cards into your hand. A lot of times you're going to be hitting energy cards off the top of your deck, and if you don't put them into the Lost Zone, they'll be in your hand. And you cannot Mirage Gate energies from your hand. They have to be in your deck. So again, Guru's Primate Wisdom comes into play in a big way here, because getting energies onto your Pokemon can most certainly be the difference between winning or losing, because you need energies to attack. So if you have too many energies in your hand, you're going to be using the Primate Wisdom to put them back into your deck so that you can then use the Mirage Gate to accelerate them onto your Pokemon. Hisuian Heavy Ball is an important card here. Look at your face down prize cards. You may reveal a basic Pokemon you find there, put it into your hand, and put this Hisuian Heavy Ball in its place as a face down prize card. If you don't reveal a basic Pokemon, this just goes to the discard. Then shuffle your prize cards. So this list is actually playing 2 Hisuian Heavy Ball because Radiant Eternatus is the main functionality of this deck. If you take out Radiant Eternatus, this deck is literally just Comfey and Guru, because the Duraludon and the Flying Pikachu VMAX can never come into play without the Radiant Eternatus. And you can only play 1 copy of a Radiant Pokemon. You can only play 1 Radiant Pokemon, period, in your entire deck. So this deck plays 2 Hisuian Heavy Ball because you need that Radiant Eternatus. If it's prized, you are out of the game. So you need to find your Hisuian Heavy Ball and get it out of the prizes. Battle Pass is really good for Lost Zone decks. Now, you might not think it's that great in this deck because we are only playing 6 basic Pokemon and one of them are Radiant Eternatus. But in some of my early testing with this list, I actually don't mind using Battle Pass to put Radiant Eternatus directly onto the bench sometimes, because I can just Scoop Up Net it and then use its ability, since this deck plays 4 Scoop Up Nets. So because you don't really need Quick Balls in this deck, you don't really need Ultra Balls in this deck, because you just need to get your Comfeys into play, get your Guru into play, and then slap down a Radiant Eternatus to get your VMAX Pokemon into play. And after that, you're never searching for Pokemon again. So the Battle VIP Pass actually works better for Radiant Eternatus than you might think at a glance. And then for supporters, it's pretty light. It's just 4 Colress's Experiment and 2 Boss's Orders, and the 3 Pokestops for turboing through your deck, getting cards into the Lost Zone, getting your Radiant Eternatus down, and then of course 2 Ordinary Rods in case you discard your VMAXs or you discard too many energies. You can get them back into the deck with the Ordinary Rod. So that's the brand new Radiant Eternatus plus VMAX deck, and this mostly this list comes from Japan, because they've had Radiant Eternatus for a little bit now, and the only VMAXs I've seen them using in decks is Duraludon and Flying Pikachu. And it makes sense. These VMAXs are super valuable to just cheat into play and start attacking with on turn 2. So let me know what you guys think about this brand new deck from Crown Zenith. It really is just the one new card, Radiant Eternatus, but Radiant Eternatus lets this deck exist. So I think this is a deck that we might see people playing as soon as Crown Zenith comes out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching today on Celio's Network. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.